Hey there, hello, it is the FOX6 Sports Blitz heat wave coming at you, just like around Wisconsin. Tim Van Vorn, Brandon Cruz in here tonight. Lily Zhao has the evening off. We are going to crank it up. Here's what's coming up. The starting lineup. The Brewers hit parade comes charging back into town on a 4-game winning streak, and a certain pitcher continues to make opponents miserable to a historic degree. A running back who can put it into overdrive makes us say what? He's tough to catch, but we catch a few minutes with the top driver this year in IndyCar. And our latest high school hotshot knows all about Elkhart Lake and going fast.
I think this is exactly how I ever dreamed of it coming along. So, it's exciting.
Reasonably mellow, Jacob Misiorowski. Oh, by the way, just throwing seeds past everybody in the Major League. Let's talk with the Brewers right off the top here, Brandon. And at the start of the week, they had an off day. They had a so-so loss to the Cubs. They had a rain out, and you're thinking, it's going to be one of those weeks. And then they take care of business in electric fashion in Chicago and then go to Minnesota and sweep the weekend. So it's 4-game winning streak, and they're riding high right now.
Yeah, and it's runs scored like on a huge rate, more than 8 runs a game. They've scored 43 in those 4 games, but Jacob Misiorowski is the big story right now. I mean, he goes out, pitches his second start, delivers 6 no-hit perfect innings before giving up a walk and then a home run to start the 7th. That's 11 straight innings of hitless ball to start a career, which is the best since 1900. His baseball cap that he's wearing in this game is now on its way to Cooperstown, where he will be honored for that feat, which is an incredible start to a major league career.
All the hype, and you kind of wondered, why the Brewers waited as long as they did to get him up here. It looks like the handling was absolutely perfect. Misiorowski is going to take the ball next this week against Paul Skeens on Wednesday in Milwaukee. Those are 2 hot young pitchers. Wednesday afternoon is not the marquee spot for Major League Baseball, but boy, eyes will be on that game.
And you know how hot it's been. There are going to be a lot of fans in there with those bats going by balls and not connecting, because both those guys are very good at strikeouts, a lot of swings and misses, and I think it is must-see baseball. This is what baseball wants. Like you said, maybe not in the middle of a day on Wednesday, but they want these kind of matchups, and it is going to be must-see TV.
Absolutely. So Jacob Misiorowski headlining the rotation right now, and other guys are performing well as well. But the hitting has come along here as the weather has warmed up as well. You talked about it in your sportscast, Brandon. Offense suddenly right there. And Christian Yelich with an explosion the other night.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, not until the 6th inning Friday night. He hadn't driven in a run. All of a sudden, he ends up with 8 RBIs in that game, and he does it without hitting a home run or scoring a run. Another major league record set in that game, which is hilarious because any other night, that is the headline. But that was the sub-headline because of Misiorowski. But you look at what Christian Yelich is doing. He is delivering every single day, and he's driving in runs, which the Brewers need. Like I said, 43 runs over the last 4 games. He is a huge reason why, and he's a big reason why they keep moving up in the standings, and they're within 3.5 of the Cubs.
And you talk about driving in the runs. The Brewers have had plenty of guys on base this season. They just haven't always gotten them home, and that reared its ugly head a little bit this week. But Yelich getting people home. Joey Ortiz has come to life at the bottom of the order, and the bottom of the order and the left side of the infield have had a lot of people concerned.
Well, I talked about it on Sunday night last week, that he just wasn't coming through when they needed him to. Well, guess what? This week, he's been unbelievable, driving in runs at a huge rate, and also moving his batting average from 187 on Tuesday when he started the game against the Cubs to 212 after today's game against the Twins. What an amazing week it's been, and that is exactly what the Brewers need. Now that his bat is delivering and coming through at the bottom of the order, it is creating so many more runs. It's great to see for the Brewers.
Well, and 212, you'd say that's disappointing if you'd been given that at the start of the season. But from where it was, you're exactly right. It's all relative, and that shows you how much things can change in a situation just kind of like the perception of this Brewer outfield. Garrett Mitchell out, Blake Perkins out. So you're thinking, what are they going to do? Well, Isaac Collins has forced his way into regular playing time in the outfield. He was a utility guy, could play second base. He's been the left fielder, and he's been a catalyst this week.
Yeah, he's had a lot of pop. He hits a home run left-handed on Tuesday night for the Brewers in Chicago. He comes back Thursday in Chicago from the right side, and he hits one out. Then he drives in runs in Minnesota, his hometown. He's from Maple Grove, Minnesota, and he has a big weekend there. I mean, he is coming through, and you can't take him out of the lineup. He's also doing it defensively, which is something we're not seeing here because of what he's done with the bat, but he's making catches, he's making plays. You can't take him out of the lineup at this point.
Which is just a crazy deal based on what you would have expected coming into this season. Brewers get that win in Chicago the other night. They win in Minnesota. A little small ball mixed in here, too. And Craig Counsell on the Chicago side of things likes to play that all of a sudden in Chicago now, too.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And if you just break down Friday and Saturday's games in Minnesota for the Brewers, they scored all of their runs, 17 on Friday, 9 on Saturday, and none of those came via a home run. Today's first run wasn't from a home run. It wasn't until their second run. So they are doing it just by getting runners on base, creating pressure on the plate, and delivering key hits, something we hadn't seen consistently. Right now, they are coming through when it matters most, and it's showing up with big W's.
I'm wondering, go back over the season, there may have been some weeks they didn't score 17.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Right.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it seems that way. And then on the back end of it, you have Trevor McGill. You know, the Brewer bullpen has been good. It's not just one man, but he's been a lockdown guy. Maybe not even hiccups. He gives you a little bit to be nervous about on occasion, but Pat Murphy has to feel pretty good when he calls on McGill.
Yeah, and maybe McGill likes the drama. I mean, you know, he makes a huge save on Thursday in Chicago to secure that win, and he gets a double play, which is something we don't see a lot from him. He doesn't normally get ground balls very often, but he does it. Then today he gives up a double, and that's the tying run. The winning run is on first base, and he gets a strikeout to end the game and get another save and secure the sweep for them. He is a guy they trust. He only has 2 pitches, but they work so well because he throws 100, 101 miles an hour, and he has such a sharp breaking ball.
Only 2 pitches throwing him like that.
Right.
That's okay, no question about it. All right, late June, weather's hot, baseball season for sure. But basketball on the minds, man. The season ends tonight with the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the championship. But the NBA draft is right next on the calendar, and we get to that. The Bucks are not going to be big players in this year's draft, but they could use some players. How does that come together?
Yeah, and that's what we have to see. I mean, is there a possibility of a trade happening in the next few days to move into that first round? Because right now they don't have a first-round pick. But if they don't do that, they have a second-round pick on Thursday. And to me, they need somebody who's a wing that can score. John Horst needs to make sure that they get something and somebody that can contribute. Most of his draft picks in recent years have not had much of an impact on these teams lately for the Bucks. So I think this year they need to find somebody who can, and that's hard to do in the second round of the NBA draft. But there are players out there that might fit what they're looking for, maybe even a guard. But I think wing is something that you're going to look at for this team.
They've arguably gotten more contributions from some of their second-round players than first-round players over the years. The first-round players have often contributed elsewhere, as it turns out. There are some local players people could be watching this week in the 2-day NBA draft. If you're sitting at home saying, I want 2 days of the NBA draft, rest assured you have it. One of these guys for sure going to go on the first day, though. That's Con Knippel, who's kind of described as a plug-and-play player coming out of Duke.
Well, and it's funny. I mean, we knew because of what he did here at Wisconsin Lutheran, that he was going to be an NBA player for sure. He goes to Duke and plays a year there and solidifies that. He's almost guaranteed to be a top 10 pick. Some drafts, mock drafts have him as high as 3rd for this draft, some all the way down to 10. But I would say he's going to be anywhere from 3 to 7, and he's going to impact a team immediately because he can do anything and everything, and he's just a pure basketball player.
Pure basketball player, you said, very intelligent player, knows the game extremely well, more athletic than people may think initially, and obviously he's had a lot of success in his 1 year at Duke and prior to that, playing for Ryan Walls over there at Wisconsin Lutheran. Marquette's Cam Jones is a guy that's kind of all over the place in these mock drafts.
Yeah, I mean, some have him as high as late first round, others have him midway through the second round, but either way, you'd expect him to hear his name called either Wednesday or Thursday. And what it is because he is such a hard worker. He can play defense, and he can do so many things offensively. He can shoot, he can facilitate, and he's relentless. You never see this guy hang his head. You never see him stop trying. The hustle that he has and the heart that he shows really matches the talent, and I think whoever gets him will have a guy that can make a difference for a team. He might not start in the NBA, but he definitely will be able to affect a team and really help a team move forward.
He's an older player. Is that a factor?
I think so. I think because he's so so smart. He's such a basketball-wise guy that he understands what role is needed at what moment, and he can fill whatever role that is.
Another older player is coming out of Wisconsin after transferring a couple of times, landing in Madison, and then really excelling last year, and that's John Tanji. He's seen as at least a second-round pick and was one of the best transfers in college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he really improved his status by what he did with the Badgers this season. He carried them for stretches. He was just so good at scoring. He really was a dominant player at times in the Big Ten and even in the NCAA tournament. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks kind of look at him if he's still around, because he can score and he can do some different things that I think this Bucks team could use, and the familiarity with him being so close would be a win for the fans for sure.
I saw John at a Bucks game as a fan earlier this year. Talked to Greg Gard and John and Kamari McGee. Those guys were all in there, so you just never know. And he's a guy who obviously was right in contention for Big Ten Player of the Year. So that's some pretty heady stuff as he comes into this draft. The Bucks do know that Pat Connaughton is going to be back on the squad. He's not a rookie, he's not a draft choice, nothing like that. And he hasn't played as much as he did earlier in his Bucks career. But why wouldn't you exercise his player option? That reportedly gets done for about $9 million or $9.5 million a season. If you're Pat Connaughton, with all you have going in the city of Milwaukee and with that money on the table, why wouldn't you do that? And then you hope you work back into more rotation minutes. We shall see what decision is going to be made there going down the road for the Bucks coaching staff, but Connaughton decides he wants to be around. We hope you want to be around, because the Fox 6 Sports Blitz continues in a moment.
What's peaking?
To answer your question, I can't really answer your question.
And like peak?
Where do you get to go when other people are actually interested in what you got to say?
I can say Yakachonis a lot easier than I could say Hamakuris.
We'll stop there.
Are you a race fan?
Man, I've been getting into it lately. I'm a car guy. So, obviously we got a lot of love for these guys and what they do. It's a lot harder than what people would think, so it's a lot to go into it. So I'm a little interested to just see the ins and outs of how it works.
Oh, he saw the ins and outs. He was in the fastest seat in sports today, Josh Jacobs. What did you think of him?
Well, he did fine. He was sweating like everybody else. It was hot out there on the track. But I asked him, are there any restrictions on you? I mean, he said, I just told him to set up as best they could. Let the thing go. So I know he had fun.
That looks cool. Well, you know who had a lot of fun was Alex Palou. The guy's been having fun at every track he's been on this year. Here he gets his 6th win of the year by taking the XPEL Grand Prix at Road America. You spoke to him. What was he like?
Well, he's fired up. He's having a great year. This wasn't, an easy one. There were a lot of yellows today. Strategy affected everything during the day. And Scott Dixon was in the lead late, but he didn't have enough fuel to get to the end. So Palou able to come home. Here's what he had to say afterwards. Congratulations.
Thank you.
They had the Red Solo Cup, It's Time to Party song ready to go. They cued that thing right away.
We're ready. I was trying to sing as well. My voice is not great and my singing talents are not great, but I try my best. It's been a fun weekend running that number 10 Solo Cup car. I think it's the perfect weekend as well, with everybody having a ton of fun during the Road America weekend. So yeah, couldn't have ended up the race weekend in a better way.
You have had a fun season so far. Obviously a few changes within it, but you can still succeed. What's been the key for you, if you could put your finger on any one thing?
The team that I have behind me, man. The strategies, the car, the speed that we have in these cars this year, it's been incredible. So the team I have around me makes me look very good on track.
Are you physically drained? It was a hot day, Alex.
It was, but yeah, I'm keeping myself hydrated, so it'll be okay.
And what about the early yellow? So much strategy then came into this race. Even at the end, Scott Dixon didn't know if he'd get there. How does that impact you in the car?
Yeah, it was tough. The heat was very, very high. It was making the fuel also consumption not very good. The tires were degrading a little bit more than normal. And we didn't know with the cautions, as you said, like they were changing stuff all over. We were really good at the beginning, really bad in the middle part of the race, and really good at the end as well. So yeah, everybody had the same cautions. I think my crew and my team played it very well on those calls. So yeah, couldn't be happier.
Lastly for me, what does this victory do in your season chase and just in your maybe confidence and optimism going forward?
Oh, it's huge. Every win, it's huge, man. you never know when your next one is going to be. So I enjoy every single one as if it's my first one and last one. So yeah, as I said, I couldn't be happier right now. For the crew, it's great as well. Like, we're coming up to one of the toughest moments of the season now with so many back-to-back races, not much rest, so it's going to be tough on everybody. So giving them a little bit of that win here at Road America is going to help them.
Congratulations. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So what did you take from him? I mean, he seems to know where he's at, but he also seems to have some humility.
He does. There's no question about it. He's had some tougher times in his career, so he's enjoying this ride. Indy 500 champion this year. He's on top right now, and he's the type who really interacts with the fans anyway. So when you win, it's a lot easier.
And he's coming back to the Milwaukee Mile in August. Now, you talked to him also about hydrating. Another driver kind of hydrated afterwards. It's a different style.
Hey, wear your sunscreen and drink your fluids.
Yeah, here, watches what happens here. This is Santino Ferrucci. He knows he's on the podium. The fans throw him that beer, and he enjoys it.
And you wouldn't?
Why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, it tastes great, and it is less filling, apparently.
Put it right back in.
All right. Well, just ahead, it's time to introduce our newest high school hotshot, so be sure to stay with us. We'll be right back.
And we continue. He's one of the most decorated track athletes in the state without having a key training component. He does have the honor of being this week's high school hotshot.
Brody Feldman, senior here at Elkhart Lake Limbula, three-sport athlete. Since 6th grade, when sports got a little bit more rigorous, I've been in football, basketball, and track. My grandpa went to school here, and then my mom and my dad. So I don't know about too many three generations. I mean, I've heard a couple two generations, but not really a three generations. My grandpa, he actually has a school record for the 4x2 relay. Now I kind of follow my grandpa's footsteps, so I'm proud of that. In 6th grade, I had long legs, and I just kind of had like this build to be a hurdler. You can't be afraid of the hurdles. You got to be ready to hit them because you're going to hit them if you want to go fast. You also have like long legs, good technique. You got to be flexible to get your legs over the hurdles. You also got to be a good sprinter. To cap off the year at the state track meet, in prelims on the first day in the 300-meter hurdles, I broke the state record. After the 110s, when I broke the state record, I was like, okay, I can do this. I went out in 300-meter hurdles, and I broke my previous record. And then my 200, I just tried to get out fast, and then I looked up at the board, and I saw I broke the state record again.
Flip the switch and Brody.
I couldn't be happier to represent the resorters at state, you know, without having a track, as you can see. In the beginning of the track season, the coaches will paint lines and paint curves for us, and we just run barefoot. We also have a long jump and high jump area, so I can fit about 3 hurdles on the long jump runway. Pretty good at the first 3 hurdles because I get to practice that a lot. It's just cool that people think we have a track because of how good our athletes are. So this year for football, I earned All-State as a wide receiver. I was also first team as a wide receiver, outside linebacker, and punter. In basketball, I just scored my 1,000 points this year. I got first team all-conference. I'd be glad to come back here just because of the community involvement. I mean, everybody's been here for me. Just keep the generations going and maybe create a 4th generation. Brody Feldman, senior graduate at Elkhart Lake Limbula, and I set 3 state records at the D3 state track meet. And I'm this week's Fox 6 high school hotshot.
Way to go, Brody. Love the can-do attitude, and we're big on the Elkhart Lake area tonight. As a resorter, Brody's also part of the National Honor Society, FBLA, student government. His next academic chapter will be at UW Stout. He's going to be a 2-sport athlete for the Blue Devils. The curtain has come down on the high school championship seasons. One this week in local teams. We're talking about baseball first. Muskego Division I title against Lake Geneva Badger. New Berlin Eisenhower walking off Seymour to take the Division II championship. Hey, hey. And Kenosha St. Joe's wins the Division III championship over Kewanee. Crowns also earned in girls soccer Saturday. Muskego, its 4th straight state championship in Division I. Never gets old. The Lancers from Brookfield Central, a goal better than Pewaukee in winning the Division II title. And Catholic Memorial claims the Division III championship, doubling up Edgewood. See you in a moment. The Brewers host 2 struggling opponents this week. You can see them play the Pirates Tuesday night on Fox 6.
And the 2-day, 2-round NBA draft starts Wednesday and finishes Thursday.
We'll be back with the Blitz next Sunday night.